Good afternoon. How are you diddling? Excellent. Me too. Thank you very much for asking. Welcome to another episode of Dazed and Confused, my 3 times a week live show where I chat to you about social media, about video, and what you could be doing to help grow your brand for free. And today, to still keep celebrating National Freelance Writers Appreciation Week, that's a mouthful, we're going to keep talking about blogging. We're going to talk about some really great blog growth tips. On Monday, I gave you some great SEO tips that you can use for your blog. Today, I'm going to give you just some 4 simple tips from my long list of tips that are available very soon as an ebook. I'm going to give you 4 great tips that you can use right now on your blogs to try and get more people involved in the content and the value that you are putting out. So before we get to any of that, though, first things first, who the hell am I to tell you anything? Well, I'm Simon Scholes. I'm the founder and creative director of Perception Studios. We're an award-winning visual marketing agency, and we help brands and businesses create content that makes them stand out on social media. And that could be video, animation, aerial work, graphical work, all sorts of different types of stuff. But a few years ago, it became very obvious to me that not every brand and business was in a position to spend loads of money having content created for them. But we all know to have a presence on social media, you need to be consistent on this thing in my hand right now, your mobile phone. So how can you do that if you don't have the money? So I sat down and went through a process that I'd used myself. I use it with my clients. I'd talked about it for years as well when I'd done keynote talks. And I turned it into a book and I called it How to 9 Times Your Social Media. And it's stuff a lot of people are talking about right now, which is repurposing your content, making it work harder for you so you've got more content to put out to your audience. But the fact that you're repurposing stuff you've already created means you're creating more time for yourself to concentrate on what you do as a business as well, which is really important. So that's what these lives are all about. That's what my content is all about across all my social media channels, is about trying to get you creating content for free. My second most favorite 4-letter word in the world. Can't tell you my first favorite 4-letter word. It's a family show. But we're going to continue to talk about blogging today. And I'm going to give you 4 really simple, great blogging tips that you can use going forwards. And if you want the rest of them, and I have about 10, 15 great tips that you can use, they're going to be available as an ebook very, very soon. So keep your eyes peeled for that. But we're just going to go through these simple tips, talk about them a little bit, and hopefully you'll get some value from today's broadcast. So shall we get started? I think we should. So let's go to tip number 1. Let's just quickly check if anybody's joined us. We do. We have a few people joining us on LinkedIn and on YouTube as well. So hello to you. Thank you very much. And wherever you're watching, don't forget you can stick your comments into the section below, and then they will pop up on my screen and we can say hello to you wherever you are in the world. Right. Okay. Blogging growth tips. So my first tip for you is to make time to do blogging. It takes time to sit down and write something on a particular subject, but a blog, as I said on Monday, is a doorway to more content. Once you've got what you want to say straight in your head, which is generally what you do by writing things down, you have a blog. You can bastardize it a little bit, expand on it a little bit, but you have the makings of a blog once you've written some stuff down, some things that you really want to say and get across. So make the time to make a blog, because that will help you get things straight in your head about what you're going to be talking about week on week on week on week. Now, the thing is, to go into week on week on week on week content, you need to then go back a step. And that's where my tip number 2 comes in. So tip number 1 is definitely make time for blogging. I want everybody who's watching this right now, whether it's on the live or on the replay, to consider making time for blogging. And if you don't have time to do any blogging, you need to get somebody to do the blogging for you. You've got to be blogging. It's a great tool, and it's probably the longest lifespan piece of content you can create, because a blog will last on your website and people will find it for years to come. Tweets, that kind of thing, 18 minutes. Instagram, 8 hours if you're lucky. A YouTube video, maybe a day and a half, 2.5 days before it gets swallowed into people's feeds. You've got to be creating regular content on almost every other channel, but a blog once a week is more than enough, and it will last a really long time for its actual lifespan. So make the time to do blogs for your business and for your brand. And like I say, if you don't have the time to do it, brilliant. That means you're doing a great job with your business and making money and selling. Get somebody to do it for you. So tip number 2, like I say, is going back a step. you need to go back a step to start creating the content. If you don't have loads of money coming in and you do have the time to create your own blog, then you need to sit down and plan the content that you're going to write about and that you're going to talk about across all your content. Because one of the big things that most people use as an excuse is, I don't know what to talk about. I don't have the time to be creating content. I've no idea what to say. So if you sit down and actually plan your content, plan your blogs specifically, you will have those subject matters for every single week that you can use to create content, and then you can move forwards and create other content alongside the blogs by repurposing, making your content work harder for you. So as well as making time to make your blogs, you're going to have to make time to plan your content, plan your blog subject matters. Just do it a month at a time. For me, I sit down and spend a whole couple of weeks planning my entire year ahead, if I possibly can do, looking at different calendars and stuff that I can talk about and connect my content to. But you don't have to do that. You could just spend maybe 3 or 4 hours sitting down and going, this is what I want to talk about this week and that week and that week and that week. I've done a month's worth of content planning. And then you get into that flow of actually planning each and every single month before the month arrives, which is really ideal. And if you've got a plan in place as well, it means you can get ahead of the game because you know what you're going to be talking about here, there, and everywhere. So awesome. That means that way, then you can actually create that content before it's due to go live and then schedule it so that it goes live on that date. But you've written something for June back in February. So it gets you into a better position for creating more regular content. The next tip I want you to take on board, for anybody out there who is either a perfectionist or just feels they have nothing to say, is create. Sit down and write something every single day. If it's a long form piece of content, maybe to put on an Instagram post or a slightly longer Twitter post even, just sit down and write stuff every single day for all your social media channels. Put stuff out for people to consume and you'll get into that flow of writing long form content. Now, obviously, different length blogs perform in different ways. That's going to be one of my other tips. That's within my ebook, which you can download very, very soon. But what I'd suggest is if you worry about the value you're putting out there or getting perfect content, just write, and just get more stuff out there. You can go in and edit a piece of content afterwards. If your grammar's not perfect, it's not the end of the world. I know the grammar police will probably try and make you feel like it is, but it's not, because nobody's dead from you making a grammar mistake or not putting a capital at the start of a sentence and those kind of things. You can change that in the long run. So don't worry about it. Every social media platform has an opportunity for you to go delete or edit or anything you want. So don't worry about making mistakes. Just worry about getting that value that you've got to give out there, and you'll get better and better with your creative process, the way your brain thinks about creation of your blogs and written stuff. And actually, you'll get better with your grammar as well if you are not a great person with grammar or spelling and all that kind of stuff. And obviously, there's amazing tools out there now that you can download for free for your computer, and it will actually check your grammar and your spelling for you. Things like Grammarly, which is absolutely brilliant and a lifesaver for me. So definitely check that one out. But just start creating. Create content for your business, for your blog, all that kind of stuff. Right, okay, we're going to move on to my fourth tip. This is my final tip for this morning. And this is one that we're going to expand on a little bit more because there's more to it. My tip number 4 is engage with other bloggers. This is something I preach about with all social media channels. There is one key word in social media, and it ain't the word media. It's the word social. You've got to start being social on social media, and that includes other blogs and all that kind of stuff. This is where the real hard work comes in, because writing a piece of content about something that you know about might take you a bit of time, but once you get into a flow of doing it, you can do it. But reaching out to other people all the time and finding different blogs and talking to other people in comment sections does take time. But that is an important part of social media. So you have to make time to do that, but don't do it over and above selling, for example. If you're not making any money, you need to make money to have a business. Your business doesn't care if you're on social media. It just wants money. It needs money. So you need to sell. But if you are doing all right, or you've made time to sell and every evening you sit down and you watch Love Island, well, Why not turn Love Island off for an hour and sit and be social on social media for an hour instead? And then go back to TV, maybe watch it on the +1 channel or recording of it or what have you. So I want you to think about engaging with bloggers, but not necessarily just in their blogs as well, on other social media channels. So for example, on Twitter, there is an actual specific hashtag for blogger hour. And you can go in there and you can talk to other bloggers and read their blogs and share their blogs and share the value that they've got to give. That's a really important thing. Chatting to other people who are also creating is a really important thing. Also, do go into other people's blogs, especially when they're in the same industry as you, and just leave helpful comments or actually give value to other people. Maybe help somebody else within the comments if they've not had a response from the actual blogger themselves yet. You can dive in there and just say, hi, have you tried X, Y, and Z? I'm not suggesting selling on somebody else's content. That's not a good thing. It's not a good thing to sell on social media generally anyway when you're going for organic growth. Maybe now and again, but not on every single post. But you can reach out and just leave a comment and just say hello or anything like that. So make sure you're actually an active member of the community on other people's blogs. Leave those helpful blogs, leave those helpful comments, that kind of stuff, and become part of the community within your niche. So for me, social media coach, visual marketing agency, I would find other people creating blogs within those niches and start talking in those niches and chat to people and that kind of stuff. That's what you've got to do, is understand who your avatar is, what your niche is, and then reach out and start talking to people within that niche on other blogs and that kind of thing. Become part of that community. And like I say, the main thing from this that I think is just so powerful are Twitter hours. I think this is a great way for you to reach out and meet other bloggers, other creators of the same type of content as in blogs. Because everybody who writes a blog understands the difficulties behind it, that kind of stuff. And so you all become one big community as well. And there's also that potential of creating a relationship with somebody else who's there. They might like what you've got to say, the value you've got to give, and become a customer. Or they might just reach out and say, do you fancy doing a collab? I think there's a bit of a symbiotic relationship between what you say and what I say. And I think maybe our audiences might enjoy each other's content. So how about we share each other's content to our audiences and collab on maybe a blog or a video? It's a really great way of actually building a relationship with people within the same niche as you, as in blogging. So Twitter hours, definitely go check them out. I will put a link, actually. I have a long list of Twitter hours that are available for different people to go and check out. I'll put it in the section below after this live, and you'll be able to scroll through that and find some of the blogging hours that are in there, as well as all the other hashtag hours that I've been able to come across. Some of them are a bit defunct now, but there's quite a lot on there. So I'm sure you'll find something suitable to your niche or to your area and that kind of stuff. But hopefully, those 4 tips are going to help you grow your audience with your blog. Make time to create a blog in the first place. Actually do it. Plan your blog content so you don't have the excuse of, I don't know what to talk about. You've got a plan in place so you do know exactly what you're going to talk about month on month. Number 3, practice makes perfect. In other words, create. Do writing every single day. Long form content performs really well on Instagram and stuff like that right now. So use that as a practice area. Use it as a sounding board even to see what content people are interested in reading about, and then write blogs in longer format as a blog on your website. And then share that on Instagram as well. So people can then go through and follow the link on your profile to actually go and read the main blog. That kind of stuff, really powerful. And then number 4, engage with other bloggers. Find lots of different ways of engaging with other bloggers, people in your niche. Become part of a community, leave comments on other blogs, reach out on other social media channels. And Twitter hours, really powerful, really powerful. Okay, I'm going to leave it there, though. Thank you very much for listening today. If you've got any questions, stick them into the comments really quickly. Otherwise, I am going to disappear. Thank you very much for listening or watching, whatever you've been doing today, whether it's the live or the replay or the podcast on Twitch, Periscope, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, or like I say, the podcast on iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify, and everywhere else. If you're brand new to this content, it would be amazing if you could hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to share this content as well with your audience. So just move your mouse or your thumb ever so slightly to one side and click the share button so that your audience can get some value of this content as well. But I am going to disappear. I'll be back again on Friday with another live video, probably in the evening. So until then, thank you very much for watching today. And please, in these weird times, continue to stay safe and have a good one. I'll see you soon.